Yeah. Good evening,
Good
everyone.
evening. Good evening,
Acha,
sir. I'll
yeah,
introduce you first, sir.
please.
So, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's webinar on thought-provoking topic MBBS plus Ayurveda, evolution of healthcare or dilution of science. This is Dr. Shatil from the Clinical Engagement Team, your host for this webinar. We are honored to have with us Dr. Amitav Banerjee, who has served in the Indian Armed Forces from 1978 to 2005, contributing decades of experience in both clinical and community health. Following his service, he became professor and later head of the Department of Community Medicine at Dr. D.Y. Patil Medical College, Pune. He is currently the chairman of Universal Health Organization. Uh, Over the years, Dr. Banerjee has published more than 100 papers in reputed national and international journals, undertaken several funded research projects, and delivered numerous keynote addresses at prestigious conferences worldwide. With his vast experience in epidemiology and public health, he is uniquely positioned to guide us through today's critical discussion. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Amitav Banerjee. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, Sitil. Thank you for that introduction and greetings to everyone. Good evening. I am Dr. Banerjee, as Dr. Sitil has introduced me, and I would like to add, in the context of the talk today, the integration of MBBS and Ayurveda. For the past 20 years, I have been professor in Pune, and I have been a research methodology expert. And for the past 2 decades, I have been taking workshops on research for all disciplines, including Ayurveda colleges. So I have been visiting Ayurveda colleges for the past 20 years as guest faculty for their research, teaching them research. And I have got first-hand experience with the Ayurveda young researchers. So I can give some insight on the topic today. And besides, in my regular career, I've been a MBBS student myself. I have been an MD student. I have done postdoctoral in epidemiology. So I have been with the MBBS, and I have been orienting the Ayurvedic graduates and even faculty in modern research methods, which is the need of the hour for all forms of medical practice. So today, our topic is something which has been in the news recently, and there have been a lot of flip flop on it. So these are the talking points today. You also must have read that there was an announcement in the mainstream media, New Indian Express, that Jipmer Pondicherry, which is a premier institute, is going to start BA, MS, and MBBS degree. This was the announcement in the mainstream media, I think in the first week of September. And then there was a lot of debate and discussion and lot of protest, including by IMA, Indian Medical Association. And suddenly, later, few weeks later, the Jipmer Pondicherry gave a statement that no such course is envisaged in the near future, and they should not we should not believe in rumors. We should verify from the institute. But we know that the Minister of Ayush and Family Welfare, I think Minister of State, Mr. Jadhav, in the campus of Jipmer in June this year, had mentioned that this course, integrated course, is about to start in Jipmer. And this course has been designed by Aurovilla Institute, some Aurovilla Institute. And subsequently, there was an RTI also after the protest by the IMA. Some doctor put up an right to information. Under the RTI Act, he sought information, and then it came out that this course was designed by Aurovilla Institute, and there was not very well planned. The Ayush Ministry was also perhaps not in the loop. The National Medical Council was not in the loop. This was something a very ad hoc arrangement. So all points discussion is whether we are ready for such type of integration? Will it help the people? Will it help public health? Will it train good doctors? Will it be towards holistic medicine? Will it be towards integration? Or will it cause undue confusion, undue stress? So I have collected some points. As I said, I have been involved in teaching research to Ayurveda faculty and students also, and I have seen some undercurrents. So first-hand experience for the past 2 decades. And I have been in contact with a very great scholar of Ayurveda. I will be mentioning him, and I have got his. I have studied his writings on Ayurveda, what ails Ayurveda today, how Ayurveda can move forward, and from his writings and from my own first-hand experience with interaction with the Ayurveda institutions, leading some of them are leading institutions, I have come to the yeah, I mean we have come to the conclusion that lot of dead wood needs to be removed from ancient science of Ayurveda before it can integrate with the MBBS course. I mean this integration before that we have to clean a lot of dead wood. Then premature amalgamation would not be fair. This would be your talking points. I will be giving the I will be substantiating it by personal experience or some evidence. It would produce half-baked and confused doctors in both the streams, as it is today. From my personal experience as an MBBS teacher for so many decades, the MBBS course itself is expanding exponentially without any increase in the time. For this, of course, they have uh, made it a 5.5 hour. They have proposed rather BAMS and MBBS two combined degree. They will be giving 2 degrees at the end of the course. The doctor qualified. This is the proposal. I mean, it has been stalled for the time being that the graduate will get a dual degree, MBBS degree as well as BMS degree, which has unprecedented. And MBBS course is 4.5 years plus 1 year internship. BMS is also 4.5, but this integrated course will be 5.5 years plus 1 year internship. So they have extended the time by just 1 year and trying to squeeze 4.5 years and 4.5 years, 9 years into 5.5 years. So one can see, and besides that, they can be. This is the background that dual MBBS course at JIPMER announced in May by Minister of Health Ayush, Mr. Pratap Rao Jadhav. I think he's a Minister of State. He announced it. And the proposal came from Aurovilla Foundation in January last year. Integrated course to be dual degree program, BAMS and Ayurveda. And then backlash from IM and RTI, JIPMER announced that there is no immediate plan to start it. So it has been stalled for the time being, but still it is on the cards. So we require a debate on this and discussion by experts. Now, what are the course contents? I am aware of the course contents of MBBS, and my interaction with the scholar I would introduce him is Dr. G.L. Krishna. He has written a book also. I will give the reference. Rebuilding Ayurveda. What ails Ayurveda? I will introduce him now only. I have been reading him extensively for the past 5 years. He is a Ayurvedic physician and researcher, and he was topper in his undergraduate Ayurvedic course, BMS. He topped in all the years and he wanted to do post graduation. He was very much interested in Ayurveda. And during the post graduation, he found it's that the Ayurveda has lot of dead wood, which are obsolete and outdated, which are not backed by evidence base. And he has written very good columns in Hindu, yeah, in other scientific journals, including BMJ blogs, and he has well reasoned out why Ayurveda has stagnated. And these great Ayurvedic teachers like Susutra and Charaka, they are very ancient and they were very much ahead of their times. But the times were 2000 years ago. That time is not the current times. The science advances, science does not stagnate. Unfortunately, Ayurveda was much ahead of its time. It had got a lot of remedies, which remedies were unknown to modern medicine. Modern medicine is very recent, so rightfully it was very advanced, but it has not advanced. And those great teachers of Ayurveda and were not having the latest evidence based methods. They did not have technology, they did not have a microscope, they did not have cell, they did not have genetics, which is the modern medicine. And the problem is it has not advanced, and there are many theories in that which are outdated now, which contradicts with modern evidence base. So BMS is MBBS course is modern state of the art scientific method. We are going up to the cellular level, up to the gene level, molecular genetics and other things. And Ayurveda is an ancient system that relies on debatable concepts. Even some of the concepts like dosa, prana, dhatus, they also require validation by evidence-based medicine. And according to this great scholar, as I said, he was a topper, but while doing his postgraduate, he discontinued his postgraduate course in Ayurveda because he could not reconcile with these contradictions. Because he says these great scholars, Susutra, Charak, they practice evidence-based medicine and they promoted those times. Had they been in the present times, they would have gone for changing some of the outdated concepts. So it is up to the Ayurvedic researchers of today to go take it forward, not fossilize it 2000 years back. It does not serve the cause of Ayurveda. Ayurveda itself is now considered by some people as pseudoscience because it is not moved forward. He says it is not like that. There are a lot of valuable things in Ayurveda which are preserved, and the dead wood should be taken forward, validated, or which are not validated, it should be discarded because that is not disrespected to the great teachers. In fact, it would be disrespect if the Ayurveda is not taken forward, if this legacy by the great founders is not taken forward. So this is his contention. And uh, and some he also says that there is more propaganda than actual research by whatever ministry like Ayush ministry or any ministry. They should do honest research, and instead of that they are doing speculation, and they will throw in some jargons like that Ayurveda had knowledge of quantum physics and quantum mechanics, which are all speculations, which are just words which sounds very impressive, which gives the impression as if Ayurveda was much ahead, they knew quantum. But that has to be validated by modern day evidence base. Just by talking big words and prematurely amalgamating the two diverse, one obsolete and one way, it will confuse the medical students. It will lead to, because it confused the Ayurvedic scholar himself when he wanted to look for evidence. So if it could confuse the brilliant Ayurvedic scholar, then for a novice medical student entering the first year, second year, it would be a sort of a, I mean, it would be a lot of conflicts. And he did not, he practiced, he is recognized. He got a Homi Baba scholarship. It's not that he is a dropout, so he has just been removed from the mainstream Ayurveda or the mainstream medical thinking. He is a great thinker. He had also had been a Homi Baba scholar. Then has been a visiting faculty to Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and he is presently a visiting scholar at the Indian Institute of Science and the National Center for Biological Sciences. So he has got a very strong credentials. In fact, I would just complete his credential. He is now associated also with the National Center for Biological Sciences, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. He has been associated with, he has not been Indian Institute of Science also. So his writings are very frequently in Hindu and other scientific journals. So he had got first hand experience. So these are the limitations. Ancient treatises cannot be expected to retain their relevance in their entity. Like these theories like dosa theory, kappa, vita, and all those things. That was there in Greek medicine also during Hippocrates' time also. But with evidence they got, I mean, those things were retained which were validated. Others similar cleanup is required for Ayurveda, which is a great science. The discipline contains useful portions alongside obsolete ones. But most important thing is that it gives body chance to heal itself, natural forces to heal, and minimum of interference by outward medications. Only when required, definitely it does not withhold outside medication, but maximum it is toward holism and giving the nature a chance, and lifestyle and health promotion, which is required in modern medicine nowadays. We are going to the extreme ways, we are intervening too much, we are indulging in polypharmacy. In fact, a little restraint is required, but not by making a sort of a mixing it up MBBS and BMS for a student who is unexperienced. For the experienced doctor can select the best in both the system, but a novice medical student will be very much confused. So it should be kept for a integration should be at a later stage where matured Ayurvedic scholar and a matured MBBS or MD scholar can collaborate in research, not prematurely. I mean, there are some movies are not for people below 18 years of age. Some maturity is required for certain things. Similarly, in professions also, if there are so many contradictions in one system, and even in the modern system also, there are a lot of contradictions. So if you mix these two systems, there will be multiple contradictions, which would be a MBBS student will be unable to handle that. That maturity is not there. And already the MBBS ke baad specialization, super specialization, the course is becoming more and more bulky. And if you are adding the whole another system of medicine with divergent concepts, so I mean it would be total chaos. Valuable observation relating to health promotion and illness man needs to be carefully shifted from outdated theories, implausible conjectures, and socio-religious superstitions. So these he is very blunt about it, because Ayurvedic sometimes the extremes, they go to extremes which is not evidence based, which is not on speculation, on spirituality. That is a private or religious or superstition thing, or astrology or something like that. Some universities were starting courses in astrology. So all those things will be not in the interest of Ayurveda. And at one place, Dr. Krishna said, it is a proto science. It is a proto science means that time when these Ayurvedic scholars, great Ayurvedic sages and all, they had lot of wisdom, common sense observations, lot of good observations, but the science came later. So now we have to add and we have to take it forward. A lot of deadwood has failed to keep pace with the intellectual and scientific advances of the time. Archaic theories that are apt to arouse suspicion, the minds of educated patients are peddled as sophisticated dogmas. Trust deficit due to diminished evidence quality. So, though immensely valuable for the wealth of clinical observations, it is a proto science. Here, he has mentioned the word proto science. I mean, it is before the era of scientific revolution. So, why not take advantage of that? By prematurely piggybacking it will confuse the students. It requires vibrant ecosystem of scientific workers that experiments, verifies, and educates about the best clinical practice. And here I would like to say what are the barriers to this. As Dr. Krishna has also brought out among his interactions with great Ayurvedic so-called authorities, some of the old school are very reluctant. They say that whatever research has been done by your ancient practitioners, Charak and Susutra, that is final. Science, nothing is final. That is actually dogma. So that will be not in the interest of Ayurveda. And as I said, I have been taking research methodology workshops in Ayurvedic colleges. I had gone to one very old and very reputable Ayurvedic college for such a workshop, and I had a very vibrant interaction with the young researchers, postgraduate students, some young faculty. They were they had a lot of hunger for research. They wanted to do research. I took a session for 2 3 hours, some on hands and other things. And I was brought back by one of the senior faculty of Ayurveda. While driving me back, he was very silent and he looked very annoyed. And then at one place, he stopped the car and he says, Daksa, what all you have said, they are all theoretical. They apply to your MBBS or to a modern medicine or Ayurvedic, it is final. All this, what you are saying, has been proved by your ancients. We don't require further proof. That is final. I was very much, yeah, I mean, he was very much against all new research. Then he says, "You see that house there?" I said, "Yes, I can see." Well, suppose my father says this house belongs to my grandfather, my father has inherited, and now I will inherit it. So, will I question my father? I will take it, my house. And similarly, all knowledge in Ayurveda has been handed down, and we have to believe them. So I just kept quiet because he was so angry. I thought he would tell me to get out of the car. So I just kept, "Yes, sir." But I wanted to tell him, which I did not tell him. I said, "It is all right when your between you and your father and your grandfather. It is in house. You accept it. But suppose your neighbor says that this house is his, the case will go to the court of law, and the judge will ask for the evidence. They have to prove evidence. Similarly, Ayurveda, your scholars have handed down, but when you have to prove it to the world, when you have to prove it to the modern medical establishment, you have to give the evidence base. That's why you require research for the benefit of Ayurveda. I didn't tell him that, but this is the narrow logic. There is a contradiction, in-house contradiction in Ayurveda itself. So all this should be sorted out by honest research, by rather than just by resting on the laurels, which does not serve the cause of Ayurveda. In fact, it gets a bad reputation. So this ecosystem, as on today, is lacking. I mean, that's what I can say. My 20 years of Ayurvedic, because some of the things they take it as sacrosanct. You cannot question it, and some of them things are totally not logical. It will confuse the medical student. Like the urine formation is still given in some Ayurveda text as from the intestine there are some tubes and which takes it to the bladder, the kidney, the mention name, because they did not have a dissection, they did not have a physiology, they did not have anatomy. So how you can reconcile a MBBS course and a BMS course together in the same class, and how will you select the teachers who will teach what? Their anatomy physiology has some contradictions which are not updated by modern evidence. MBBS is state of the art. So there will be lot of who will be the teachers, who will be the faculty, who will be the examiners. So there are a lot of hazards. Now, suppose if they pass out, what happens? If a doctor trained in both commits a medical error, which code will apply? Will you take him to the National Medical Council or Ayurvedic Medical Board? And overburdened medical syllabus, I already said that there is no roadmap and no precedence. So this is very amateur, this is very wishful thinking. So how you take it forward? What is the way forward? Ayurveda needs validation on its own terms, rigorous research, scientific validation, and transparent peer review. They have to publish articles which should be open to peer review by even modern medicine practitioners, by modern medical researchers. Their science is their science. It's no such thing. Similarly, medicine is medicine. There is no such thing as our traditional medicine and modern medicine. It is the captured in history. Even the modern medicine has come through stages of Greek medicine, Roman medicine, and it has evolved from Hippocrates' time. Ayurveda was much ahead Hippocrates because it had many remedies, but it has just stopped in time, which again, there have been certain setbacks, historical setbacks, when the other rulers came. Unani medicine started, that is also similar to Ayurvedic. But when the Britishers came, it was a Ayurvedic got a total full stop. The modern medicine, everybody went. But now it has to start all over again and it can catch up. Integration should not be synonymous with fusion, can be a way of cross reference. I mean, they can work together. According to Dr. Krishna, also, Ayurveda can treat only 60 to 70% of the primary diseases at the primary healthcare level. So we require doctors at primary healthcare level. It can treat, but for the 30% people, you require the modern medicine. So there is a big gap, a window. So that only can be judged by a matured Ayurvedic practitioner or a matured MBBS doctor, not by a medical student. Shared research initiatives, again by matured MBBS doctors and matured BM, that on equal footing. Patient-centered collaboration. And the patient also should be taken in here that these are the options in Ayurveda, these are the limitations in Ayurveda. There may be limitations in modern medicine also, particularly for chronic disease and other disease. There are a lot of limitations. Both the systems are limited, but as it stands, the Ayurveda is limited because it is not moved forward with the modern scientific methods. It has not put its speculations. So this would be conclusion. The goal of medical education is to produce doctors who are competent, ethical, and empirically grounded. Empirical means evidence based. So there are a lot of things in Ayurveda which is lacking in evidence. And most of the, as I said, most of the old practitioners of Ayurveda, they become very much attached to their older doctrines. They are not comfortable of putting it to the test of evidence-based medicine. So there is the problem there. So you cannot combine different approaches until unless we have on the same equal platform. Integration of BA, MS and MBBS serves none of these objectives. It is not reform but regression cloaked in rhetoric. You see, it is just giving a quote that now we are having, or ancient also and modern also, we are having double engine now. But those engines are pulling in different directions. That is the problem. And another thing is, it is like saying another reason given is that modern medical doctors are not going to the primary health centers, they're not going to the community health. They will not go even after they do this. What is the guarantee they will go there? They will only go there when you have got the proper infrastructure there, proper working conditions there, proper equipments are there, when you invest there. These are just eyewases. In the name of holism, it threatens to dismantle a hard-earned ecosystem of medical credibility. People will lose trust when you have this type of fear. So it would be definitely progress. There is a potential for progress, but not in this manner. I mean, the topic today is whether it is progress or dilution. It is neither of the two. Neither it is progress, neither it is dilution. It is the way and the stage. It is like you are going for early child marriage. When the child is not matured, you are marrying off and burdening the child with teenage pregnancy. Similarly, when a medical student is not matured, you are putting another system which has got diverse concepts. So this has to be at a higher level, not across the board. All MBBS students may not be interested in Ayurveda, and all Ayurveda students may not be interested in modern medicine. They may be excel. So you can have it as a MBBS and even as a Ayurveda BMS, some elective portions for research, combined research. We require genuine researchers who are interested. Not everybody can be pushed. They may be interested in practice. So there can be some electives in MBBS or more preferably in the postgraduate electives where a person, say, like wants to explore other systems of medicine, which may have lot of treasures, undiscovered treasures. There's an example from Chinese traditional medicine. There's a recent example. The modern anti-malarial, the most effective anti-malarial today is Artemisia. Artemisia compounds, Artemisia derivatives, which are used in falciparum malaria, register malaria, which is a life-saving game changer. And this was discovered from a Chinese traditional herb, traditional medicine in, I think, 2010 or something, just 20, not very, fairly recently. And the person who discovered it, she got a Nobel Prize in medicine in 2013, I think, for discovering Artemisia from a traditional herb. So similarly, or Ayurveda, we have got a large biodiversity in the country, number of herbs, number of plants which have been studied by these ancient Ayurvedic practitioners, Charaka, Sasutra. The literature is very rich, and there can be a lot of leads into these plants which require serious research, which will be coming up in the mainstream medicine, and Ayurveda can be a resource for these new discoveries, and they have been. in the past also, like Sarpagandha. Sarpagandha was used in Ayurveda for hypertension, and the recipe antihypertensive drug from that. Similarly, quinine, and I gave the example of Chinese here. So instead of that, we are going for shortcut, which requires serious research at a higher level, not at the student level. It's not. There is no ready-made mixture of practice. It's not a. I mean, some sort of a like you nowadays you go to Chinese restaurant in India. You eat the food. It is not Chinese at all. I mean, you bring someone from China, they will say it's not Chinese. And if you go to China, you can't eat that food. Real Chinese is real Chinese. You can't eat it. But when it you Indianize it, neither it is Chinese, neither it is Indian. Similarly, if you mix BMS and MBBS, neither he will be producing BMS doctor, neither he will be MBBS, something hybrid with a false label. So this is, I think, these are some of the issues which require a lot of debate from serious scholars, not by people, bureaucrats. I use some, most of them are bureaucrats, shortcuts, and some populist measures. So we require serious researchers like Dr. GL Krishna, I can name. I've been communicating with him for some time. And if you read his columns and books, and these are some of the references, I have extensively cited Dr. GL Krishna. So these are one and two are the number one is the Times of India media report of this course, and then the flip flop. And other good article I came across is by Matthews, reference number two in Madras Courier. This I have given the link. The case against MBBS BAMS integration. So people who are interested, some of the arguments can go through this also. And of course, I have cited Dr. Krishna has written a lot, Dr. G.L. Krishna, and he has compiled a whole book on rebuilding Ayurveda, the hardships of a career in Ayurveda. He has from personal experience. Then this is in BMJ Global Health. Is it wise to have an integrated Ayurveda modern medicine? So that's all. I think you can take some question if there are any. I think I can stop sharing.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. It was a really good points raised actually in that webinar. We have a few questions from the audience. Let's go through them one by one. So my first question to you is, how can we as doctors respectfully address patients' cultural and personal beliefs in Ayurveda while ensuring they follow evidence-based medicine?
That's a very good question. Actually, this is a strong point. Actually, Ayurveda and other traditional medicine, they are nearer to the patient. The patient has trust in them, and at the same time, people are getting more literate, and they have got access to evidence on the net, and they expect. So, this, of course, modern medicine have a lot to learn from Ayurvedic practitioners in the history taking, in the diet. Most of the healing which occurs in Ayurveda and traditional medicine are based on diet and lifestyle, which is supposed to be in our modern medicine also. I mean, Hippocrates times they always advocated lifestyle, and now with the pharma industry, pharmaceutical, we are looking for pharmaceutical solutions to problems of lifestyle. Now we have got anti-obesity drugs which are coming in the market. So there is definitely a place for traditional diet and traditional year. So I mean, on those prevention and health promotion, there may be some common ground. And patient, it depends on the patient has an option to go for Ayurvedic treatment also and for modern medicine treatment also. And he or she should get the best of both. So to get the best of from Ayurveda in the lifestyle diseases, patient will be benefited, and the Ayurvedic practitioner should be knowing his or her limits. As brought out, 60 to 70% of the diseases can be cured by Ayurveda. The 30% remaining requires modern medicine. So the practitioner of Ayurveda should know when to refer the patient to a practitioner of modern medicine, or better still would be cross consultation or combined consultation. So that would build the trust, so that the patient will have the best of the traditional medicine, cultural appropriate, culture appropriate, and also the best of modern medicine. So for that, the partnership between the Ayurvedic practitioner and the modern medicine practitioner, maybe that way the integration can be done at that level, as I said earlier, not at the student level.
Thank you for answering that. My next question to you is, do you see a role for Ayurveda in preventive health programs, for example, diet, exercise, stress management, where evidence overlaps with modern medicine?
Yeah, there is evidence is there. And this, as I said, any good practitioner of modern medicine will also go for lifestyle and diet and stress relief. The problem is now patients are also becoming impatient. They think, why do exercise, why do diet management when I can take drugs? Like as I said, now anti-obesity drugs are also coming in the market and being promoted. So it will depend, vary from patient to patient. If the patient is open to this lifestyle and diet management and primary prevention and health promotion, I would always say that Ayurveda has an edge over modern medical practitioners. But modern medical practitioners are accustomed to prescribing, over prescribing. I mean, though some of the good ones will not over prescribe, but there have been cases when they don't prescribe, the patient changes the doctor. The patient expects more and more medicine. It is a overestimation of the wonders of modern medicine without knowing that medicine will have side effects in the long run, sometimes in the short run also. So definitely for patient education, if the patient is educated properly, and that the Ayurveda practitioner can do. But again, it depends on the patient, temperament of the patient. And
Thank you for answering that. Moving on to the next question. So, my next question to you is, in your view, what is the threshold of scientific evidence before we can safely adopt an Ayurvedic intervention into mainstream practice?
okay, that's a very good question and a difficult one, because until unless things are tested, uh, particularly in diseases which are acute and diseases which the delay is not advisable. So there is a lot of restraint in giving only Ayurvedic treatment. It is given as a complement. It is given as a complement to the conventional modern medicine treatment at an additional. So it is evidence takes time, because, and once the evidence is very strong, as I said, the like the Chinese drug, beyond any doubt, that drug is very good. So that is actually, that becomes into modern medicine. Actually, that is adopted by modern. That's the paradox. See, anything which has strong evidence is adopted by modern medical practitioners, and it is absorbed. That's why I said, in the long run, these streams should merge. Actually, so anything which has the best evidence will come the best evidence. So they cannot be, say, there is physics. There is not, say, traditional physics and modern physics or Indian physics or American physics. The physics is physics, science. So when, if medicine has to go towards science, it has to break these boundaries. So evidence is same whether it is a Ayurvedic drug or whether it is a modern medicine drug. The threshold remains the same. It has to be beyond reasonable doubt, which in acute cases may take time. If the, say, there is a drug A for in modern medicine for a particular condition, and a new uh, drug A is there, and Ayurvedic drug has to be tested, which has showing promise. So first the trial would be done in one group of patient. The experimental group will be, drug A will be given because that is the standard of care in modern. In that they will add the Ayurvedic drug, and the other control arm will only have the modern medicine, drug A. And when the outcome, when you see the treatment, if the treatment results in the combination with Ayurveda is much more, many times more than only giving the modern medicine, the control arm, then that drug will stand a chance. Then perhaps next trial can be done that in one group you give the modern medicine, other group would give only the Ayurvedic medicine. So that level of evidence has to come before we take the next step. So it is something like learner license. As long as the driver has a learner's license, there is a one permanent driver sitting next to him as co-driver with a permanent license. Only when after some time he proves himself, then the he can drive. So similarly, as on today, any new Ayurvedic drug has to go like a learner's licensed driver with a modern medicine drug and compare it with only modern medicine. So this is conceptually I am saying, as a research methodologist who have been taking workshops in research methodology, this is the way I would recommend. So it depends on the illness also. Where if say chronic illnesses, you can take a chance, which does not. I mean, there is time to intervene in something goes wrong. So this are depending on the drug, depending on the response, depending. But I would suggest that framework.
Thank you for answering that. And with that, we have reached the end of this session. Thank you so much, Dr. Banerjee, for sharing your deep insights on timely and thought provoking topic MBBS plus Ayurveda, evolution of healthcare or dilution of science. Your perspective, backed by decades of clinical experience, epidemiological expertise, and research, has truly enriched our understanding of this complex debate in modern medicine. We also thank all the doctors who joined us today for your active participation. We hope this session has sparked reflection and discussion as we navigate the evolving landscape of healthcare. Stay tuned for more such knowledge sharing sessions on DocPlexus. Until then, thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you at our upcoming webinars. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sitil. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So, just 2 minutes.